Well, well, well. It seems that Canada has finally entered the chat. Welcome back, everyone. We're here to talk about Fallout Season 2, Episode 7, The Handoff. The handoff being the handoff of the fusion that has been going around. But what I am very excited about as a Canadian is Canada is finally here in Fallout. Finally, we're talking about Canada's history in Fallout, which is not very good. If you're familiar with it, it's not very good. I will say, I actually just started playing New Vegas because of Season 2 of Fallout, so I'll probably be getting into a little bit more of that there. I think the history of Canada also pops up in Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, it's touched upon, but I don't know how much, and I don't remember really reading about it in the game. So for me, seeing this in the show was kind of a fun surprise. And of course, Fallout and the lore behind all of it has been around in regards to, I think, Canada's history being referred to. If it's Fallout 3, that would be since 2008. So for anyone that's wondering if this was like added in, no, this has always been something in Fallout. We're just exploring it now in the show. This episode is quite a doozy. A lot of things are happening. We're building up towards this final episode, which I think, while everyone has kind of come together and gone apart, and we've got this little weaving motion going on, we've got in the past the handoff with the fusion, we've got in the present day the handoff of the fusion from Maximus to the Ghoul's giving it to the president in the past as Cooper. All of that is happening. But really, I think what we're building towards is that everyone is going to sort of end up being connected, maybe through that, or maybe through the Enclave. TBD. I do think that the final episode is where everything is going to just come together. All of these plot points will connect. But for now, everyone's sort of doing their own thing. We have Lucy, who she's dealing with her dad, Hank, and it seemed this episode she was finally coming around to the idea of maybe what her dad is doing is the right choice. Maybe it is good. After all, he's giving people a better life. He is helping them to forget the traumas of their past. But when she runs into one of the people she met from NCR, she can't help but feel, I think, bad about the fact that he doesn't remember her and he doesn't remember the NCR. And so she turns on her dad, she flips again, and she's off to destroy all of his work here to make sure that he can't brainwash and give amnesia to anyone else. But when she gets to where she's going, she's met with quite a shock. So was I. And that is, of course, the head of the woman who we know from Coop's flashbacks, who is one of the politicians who actually seems to be interested in disconnecting from corporations, believes that corporations don't have any place in politics, and that politics should be for the people, not for corporations. And she has helped Coop in the past to set up a meeting with the president so that he can actually hand off the fusion to the president. Now, of course, we know that this doesn't avert what happens. So where it goes from there, and if this is a good idea, we're still not 100% sure on that. And I think there might still be more for us to discover in the flashbacks. And I love what the Ghoul is kind of up to as well in the present day. We do end the episode with him. He, of course, is teaming up with Maximus. Maximus is mostly with the Ghoul in this episode, so their paths are pretty intertwined in episode 7. Maximus and Thaddeus decide to go with the Ghoul, and Maximus is trying to go because he wants to hand the fusion off to Lucy, but Lucy is, of course, in trouble, and the Ghoul is saying, if you come with me, I can help you rescue her. I'll give you equipment, but you do have to give the fusion to me for now. Which he does in order to save Lucy, because Lucy, of course, as we know in this, the good, the bad, and the ugly, is supposed to be our good. Although, as I guessed near the beginning, I do think some of the roles may have been challenged in this season a little bit. I think Lucy is thinking she's making good calls, but it's questionable. Whereas Maximus, I think, is on a very good path. And, I mean, the Ghoul, I mean, he's a ghoul, so he is ugly. Sorry if you love ghouls and think they're hot. Sorry to offend you. So Maximus and the ghoul team up to do this, and what the ghoul says is, in order to get where Lucy is, we have to get through that pack of death claws. And so they're on a mission to do that. And I loved this moment for Maximus when he and the ghoul and Thaddeus are walking through down the Vegas Strip here on their way to this pack of death claws, and Maximus in the NCR power armor gets this moment where everyone's looking at him and he actually gets to feel like a hero. Granted, it is short-lived, as he does go and manage to behead one of the death claws, but when the rest of the pack shows up, he gets blasted right through the barrier that was keeping them from the people, and now they're mad at him, and he's over where all the people are. So it seems like he may be responsible for a lot of mayhem and carnage in the finale. We'll have to wait and see. But that seems where it's heading, and I'm going to feel really bad for Maximus if he went from feeling like he's great and he's the hero to actually he made things a lot worse. And maybe this is the moment where he goes back to being the bad and Lucy will end up being the good in the finale again. Of course, the ghoul continues on because the ghoul really just wanted to get through to talk to Mr. House. So he heads up to where he first met him back when he was Coop, or well, not where he first met him, but where he first met him when he came to Vegas, and uses the fusion to reactivate Mr. House's computer, and Mr. House appears on the screen and he has returned. And I cannot wait to see what happens from here and how everything comes together. We also have some stuff going on in the vaults. We also have Norm still at Vault Tech and the secrets that he's uncovered. And in the vaults, so we learned something very interesting about another character. So although I've talked about my main three, I'm going to add an additional one on here because we got to talk about this Canada plot line. So for those that don't know, in Fallout, what ends up happening is in the part of the resources war, which it involves a lot of fights and a lot of wars tied together. Everyone's fighting for resources, and what ends up happening to Canada is Canada also gets pulled into this, and ultimately Canada ends up being annexed, and this is before the bombs drop. So what happens, as you'll see in the credits in this episode, is that we see Canada being referred to as Little America or the Big 51, and Canada gets just completely taken for its resources. The people all get locked up. They try to rebel, but it doesn't really work out for them. And Steph is clearly one of the survivors from Canada. And after the bombs drop, there are some Canadians that do come down and manage to make their way to the US, who you can find in the game. There are references to these Canadians that have made their way into the States. And I don't know what Steph is up to exactly, but she seems to have found her way in the past to working at the hotel the Coop is at, and later potentially getting a job at Vault Tech, which is how she's ended up in this vault. And she's one of the people that was frozen, so she's a lot older than she seems, which when she has her wedding with Chet calls her out on all of these shady revelations. He knows that she's Canadian. He knows that she's older than she seems. He knows that Woody went missing and he found the glasses in their trash disposal. So he's all about calling her out, and we still don't really know what she's doing here and why she wanted Hank's lockbox. But I have to imagine that in episode 8, all of these points that we've been building up, all of these different narratives that we've been following, are all going to come together. And I think the answer might be that everything kind of connects back to the Enclave, just because that seems to be the sinister presence we've been building up throughout the entire season. Now, I don't know what's happening with Thaddeus, but he also is transforming into something that I don't think is quite a ghoul. Could he be a glowing one? Could he be, I don't know, some other creature? Part of me wants to say Deathclaw, but I don't know enough about how Deathclaws are made to say that with certainty. So if I'm completely wrong on that, ignore me. Ignore me completely. Don't at me in the comments. Don't at me. I just mean because Deathclaws have been around in this season. And like I said, I didn't even know about the Enclave and their attachments to that, because in Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, I was so busy doing other things and reading a lot. I read a lot in those games that I never finished those games for the main quest. So what I know going into the finale is that we got a lot of things happening here. All of them are interesting to me. I think we've done a great job of weaving all of these stories together, and I cannot wait to see where it takes us in the final episode of season 2. I think this season has actually been even better than season 1, so I'm really excited for this finale, and I hope that they manage to stick the landing on this amazing season. That's really all I have for this one. I had a great time watching it. I hope you had a great time watching it. I can't wait for us to come back next week and discuss how it ended. So make sure you tune in. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you've made it to this point and you enjoy what I do here, why not consider clicking that subscribe button? That way you don't miss out when I do review the finale and later when I review the full season. And of course, it all kind of hangs in the balance of that ending, as usual. That's all I have for this one. I'll see you in the next one. And until next time, friends, stay nerdy. Bye!